What up? This is the check-in. I am your boy Heat Detector. This is Jizzo, my man Jizzo.
Can I introduce? I didn't know
Yeah,
if you were
introduce
gonna.
yourself.
I didn't know if you
Turn
were
the
gonna
volume
introduce
down.
me. What's up, man? It's your boy Jizzo, man. Yeah, glad to be back on the show, man. Every week we're here for y'all, man. 8:30. You already know.
Yeah.
Good,
Of course.
good. This your
And
boy
of
OT out
course,
here. This your boy OT out here in the West Coast. Welcome to the show, the check-in. We here talking about some serious stuff, and we just want to let y'all know. Go ahead and click in with us, and see if we can help get us to the bottom of some of these situations we all dealing with. All right.
Yeah. And the key words to that is that we're all dealing with in some shape or form. I think everybody is dealing with something of that nature, especially grown-ass men with baby mamas, things of that nature. So this show is about today. Oh, by the way, before we get started with the show, I want to say and give my apologies to everybody for last week for us not having the show, but understand something. We were at an event. We were raising money for the show. We were raising money to help us continue bringing content, selling t-shirts, merch, and everything. But we're back. We won't miss another one unless something big comes up. And we have to show our faces or something like that. And more than likely, next time that something like that does happen, we'll end up doing the show remotely. We've already talked about that one. Excuse me while I adjust my mic. But yeah, I just wanted to throw that out there just in case anybody or that was looking to tune in. We ain't forgot about you. We're here. We're back at it.
like crack addict.
Yeah. Okay. That was uncalled for. But yeah, so we're back. This is the check-in. Today the show is it's actually a question. And the question is, why can't I get along with my baby mama? Now, some of you guys might think that we're beating on a dead horse, like OT said right before we started the show. But I don't think that we are beating on a dead horse. I think that this question, the way that it's asked, is actually asking men to really take an introspective look inside themselves to try to figure out what's going on or the drama between themselves and their baby mama. Because maybe you're the fucking problem. Maybe you're causing the stress. I mean, there's two sides to every story, and I always say in the middle there's the truth. But the fact is that sometimes inadvertently and on purpose, we cause other people strife. And sometimes we deflect our shit that we're going through onto other people. Sometimes knowingly, sometimes unknowingly. And so I think that a lot of times within that, when you have separation of a couple that has a child or two children, things can be already very stressful on that, as far as financial, as far as who gets the child when, who's showing up on time, who's picking up the child, who's watching the child, who's doing this and that. And I remember one of my friends saying, man, it makes me mad, man, that my fucking BM is like, and this is really crazy how he saw it. He's like, that I need to babysit my kid. And he was offended by that because it's his kid. He's not babysitting. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And so he would get mad at her and talk shit to her about that, but in a different way. But the real problem was he didn't like how she was wording that shit because he's not a babysitter. This was a guy that was really taking responsibility for his actions and his child and everything else, but that shit made him angry. So in turn, he deflected that anger towards her, which caused the super rift in their relationship. Because in his mind, he's right. He ain't baby. You can't babysit your own kids.
Well, hold on. So if you say that, and I'm assuming you owning that, I can't babysit my own kids. Why can't if you ain't in the household no more, you done moved on to whatever you got going down. You are just babysitting. If you ain't doing the responsibility.
You can't babysit your fucking kids. You can't babysit kids.
You ain't picking the kid up from school on time.
Earlier, I'm interrupting you because you said earlier, before we got on the show, that the problem with the baby mama drama and whatever is because there ain't no real men out there. A real man would never, ever in his life say that he's babysitting a child. That is his.
Right. But that came from a woman's perspective anyway. That's her version of it, putting it off on him. But if he is just picking the kid up, throwing him in front of the video game, you know,
I don't know
my time. I'm on the clock with you. You know, yeah, he's a part of the situation that's causing the problem.
Well, I think he was just pissed the way that she worded it, and instead of being like talking to her about it and being like, "Hey, can you just word this the right way for me?" You know what I'm saying?
Wording is crucial, man. I got into it with somebody over wording, and like, yeah, wording should be like I guess it is crucial because maybe he dude's just dumb and was just like, "Hey, I'm babysitting my kids," you know. And
he was mad because she said you need to babysit your kids. He always picked.
She probably just used the wrong words.
He always picked his kids up. He was always there, and was upset the fact that she referred to him as babysitting his kids.
I think communication is key, bro. Like every time when I've been in the situation of like disagreement and like, you know, like you're in the middle of a fight or an argument and shit's getting like both of y'all are not being reasonable, but then there's that moment where you kind of get tired of arguing and you come and you're like, you actually like talk like clearly and in sentences and like, hey, look, I know this and this is going on, but all right, can we fix it like this? Can we do this? That typically fucking works 100% of the time with women.
No.
With women, in my experience, bro, it works 100% of the time when you fully, you know, because as men, sometimes we don't want to communicate or get so deep into the conversation. And I think when you really approach and say, all right, we're going to talk, and you talk clear and you're fucking assertive and affirmative and with your fucking words and set out a real plan or talk. When I've done that with women I've been dealing with, it's typically worked. Like, they see that you're trying to talk and then they're like, all right, cool. They'll stop acting ignorant. They'll stop fighting with you. They're willing to like discuss at least a little bit. Maybe not all the way, like you said. Maybe some of them will still be like, man, fuck him, you know, but at least in that moment, the shit will calm down and you'll be able to get through a conversation or at least stop the argument for the next few hours at the most.
Real talk.
But is it stopping the argument? Or are you really finding a solution? Like, because it's easy to stop an argument. You can walk away and stop the argument.
I think and you probably don't need a real solution. It's just like, stop being fucking dumb. Stop being dumb. I think most of the shit doesn't need like a intervention, a 10-step, a sit down and deal with and get through the process and heal. I mean, fuck, some of things do, but I mean, some shit's just like, dude, we be fighting about dumb shit. I know I done fought about some dumbass shit and I done got fought with about some dumbass shit. Most of that shit is just stop fighting about dumb shit.
Hey, here in the comments, is it Tracy Gillum? I don't know if I pronounced the name right.
Yeah.
Let's talk about issues when you're not married. Remember, that's that thing we talk about, the 5-second rule and all those other things. But if you just giving a conversation one way, you try to get your point across, you just speaking. And then eventually when she gets a chance or she does the opposite to you, there's no communication. That's speaking at somebody. So there's no effective communication. In order one person to say something, the other person to receive it, and then turn around and give their portion back. That's when you start effectively communicating.
Realistically, let's say, and I don't know the numbers or the stats on that shit, but let's say realistically, in my mind, that shit don't fucking happen. You can get into let's say, I don't know, you're arguing with your baby mama about something. It's probably stupid. And then the argument shift to other things.
Right.
Which you went from talking about the fucking seatbelt in the car to all right, well, you weren't fucking home last night and I'm sitting there with fucking kids and now you're arguing.
That's because there's underlying issues.
Right.
Exactly.
That's an underlying issue. That shit gonna come up. The open door is the argument. The open door is
catalyst.
Is the little interaction, that small interaction about the fucking seatbelt. That's an open door for most females. I feel like females.
Okay, wait. Whoa. You say females because it's not just. It's a two-way street.
I'm talking about my experience, bro.
Okay,
I'm talking about my experience. Females keep They keep like a folder. I always said, I always said, man, they keep like a laptop. You know how you got your desktop and you got all the folders on there.
Oh, this is this argument.
Females have they have the folder, the yellow folder with the shit you did, and they'll open that motherfucker up real quick, double click it, and get into that shit real fast because y'all didn't deal with that or because y'all never did it the right way.
Real talk.
I said, you saying communication doesn't work. It does.
No,
I didn't say it doesn't work. It starts to lead in these yellow folders off of her desktop when you start addressing shit, you know. And I'm not saying that I'm perfect at addressing things because I've probably been guilty of not addressing shit. I'm also Aquarius. We tend to run. I am gonna bring it in. I'm Aquarius. You know, we got generally try to dismiss or disregard certain situations and keep moving with things at hand and then come back and deal with them later. But I think communication works, bro. I don't subscribe
to the horoscope ideologies. I'm sorry.
Well, you're also saying communication doesn't work.
I didn't say that communication doesn't work. I did not say that. I did not say
I said that if you talk to a girl reasonably in full sentences with a calm, respectful tone, that will generally stop the argument and have them communicate back with you.
I said in return to that was not everybody. No,
not everyone. No, I can't say 100%. My comment doesn't go to 100% of women. Well, Tracy says to stay on topic because your ass be bouncing too many layers on that relationship onion that need to be peeled away. You guys aren't communicating. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Too many underlying shit. If there's so many things to get peeled back,
right? But as all of that was happening, shout out to Trey. Thank you for being in the comments and in the show. But I was just saying, I was just saying that as you had said that. But my whole thing is the purpose of this show today was like some type of accountability for men because we all have male friends. And all we ever fucking hear is like, "Oh, my baby mama's a fucking this and she's."
But why just that. Accountability for men?
No. I'm just saying. I'm just trying to open the communication about it because let's just for argument's sake say it's 50-50, right? It's probably 50-50 anyways. But there's a lot of dudes who just won't take accountability for that part of the miscommunication and that part of the shit. And I think it's about time for guys to really start taking that type of accountability because dudes will just dismiss the woman as being crazy when they're adding to the crazy.
Right. That's it exactly. That's the key.
When a woman says, you ever heard an argument and somebody says, and the woman says, "You're the one that made me crazy."
Oh my fucking God.
Yeah.
You think that you can make a woman crazy, or is that shit, that gene's already there and just came out with you? Or do you think that a man could really be responsible for making a woman crazy?
I believe so.
And vice versa, making a man crazy. Can a woman make a man crazy? Do we really make them fucking wild out and throw TVs out the window?
Yes.
TVs out the window.
I'm talking 90s. I'm in the 90s right now. Box TV flying out the fucking window. You know, you can't fit a 42 through the window no more.
But I feel like no one can make anybody anything because anger and all that shit only lasts a second.
Mm-hmm.
It's when you
anger only lasts a second.
Yeah, it's a fact. Anger only lasts a second. It's when you allow it to fester, when you allow it to sink deep, and you allow it to not like deal with it yourself emotionally. You know what I'm saying?
When have you only been mad for 1 second? When have you been mad and then been like mad?
Okay.
Happy, like,
no, I didn't say happy. I'm not saying jump from fucking mad to happy. But I am in charge of how long I think about that shit, or if I'm gonna allow it to.
If you allow it to affect, we've talked about that on the show. If you allow it to like fester in and really get you, we talked about the one homie I had who was still mad 3 days later because the chick overcharged the currency exchange.
Yeah, it's festering, man. That's him just letting it fucking marinate in his soul. Fuck that.
You can add, but no. D-Nick said you can add, but no. I'm not sure what.
No,
you can add. He's saying you
add to the crazy.
Crazy.
Add to the crazy. We was on that statement.
No. Okay, so then you
add to the crazy.
Them crazy.
No, add, but no. Why is it who is this in?
Loke.
He says,
shout out to Loke, man.
Why is it every divorce has a narcissist man and a crazy woman?
Because that's the new word that they're using. Narcissist and gaslighting and every other fucking word. I had somebody tell me I was
gaslighting them, and I thought to myself, try not to get off topic here, but that this person didn't even use it in the right context.
I saw someone else talking about they were getting gaslighted.
That's just a word, like it's like men being narcissistic and women being crazy.
You know why? You know why it has that, Loke? I think the reason that it has that is because they're for each side, if they're not living in their righteousness, they have to have a way to like walk away without bearing some of that responsibility, without we're kind of putting it onto the other person. And not everybody's like this. Some people break apart very amicably, and you know what I'm saying? It goes the right way. They get divorces and it just goes how it's supposed to go. But everybody doesn't have that. There's a lot of people that in their stories that, you know, the woman's over there telling her whole family, oh, he's a narcissist, you know, and the guy's over there telling his family, man, that she's crazy. And it's probably just because they're both trying to find a way to not bear the full grunt of that relationship fucking up or going into the ground.
You taking ownership, right? You're taking ownership. That's most part. Just taking ownership of it.
The show was about ownership, accountability. Right. I think that it has to do with that. Like that's why in a breakup, you know what I mean? I've been through breakups, dog. I've been the narcissist. I've been whatever, you know what I mean? Like, but how I used to say my message in the beginning of the when we still had the Sunday sit down with the OGs, her perception, his perception, her perception of you isn't your reality. Sometimes that will sink into your mental. If someone's drilling you every day, there's mental warfare. You know, you could be in a house getting drilled every day mentally by this woman or by this man that you're fucking shit. And that shit really starts to become you. You start to really feel like a worthless piece of shit. So that's what my message always was, you know, their perception of you is not who you are. Don't let that fucking get to you. You know, just walk your path and do your shit, you know?
Yeah.
That was a good point. That was a good one.
Hey, there he is.
What up?
What's up, y'all? How y'all doing? I was in an interview, so I was unable to join. How y'all doing?
What's up, brother? How are you feeling?
Blessed. Checking
it. Introduce yourself.
Oh man, just checking, enjoying the good conversation y'all was having about accountability and people making people crazy and or lack thereof, or people can agitate, people can trigger, but no one can make you crazy.
Yeah, no one can make you crazy.
How about can they make you mad though?
I don't make anybody. I can't make you nothing
crazy,
and I can't make you anything. But
you disagree? You said you can make people crazy.
If from the time you're 15, bro, 10 different people that you done allowed into your life done stole. I'm reaching, done stole from you. Every motherfucker that you trusted done stole from you. I bet you after the 10th person that steals from you, you are now changed. You are mentally fucking changed. You're now very suspicious of shit. You're hiding shit. You can change people. So I think in that same breath, even though I might be reaching in that same breath, I really think that you can make people crazy.
Well, that takes onus away from the self, because you allow. There's things that you can control in your environment, and obviously there's things that you can't control. So if to allow someone to make you crazy means what did they do to make, like, you got to get your judgment better. You got to get your, there's a lot of work that you can do, that they're just what they are, so, but you can control yourself. So you can control who you have around. You can control how you maneuver. You can control, like, they always say, like, when you go to a hotel, don't tempt the staff, meaning don't leave your money spread all over the bed.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and so, like, if someone stole some money of the housing staff, you know, you feel away, but you know, but you can prevent that. You can start preventative measures. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, and that's the work that we all have to do. Like, no one should practice being helpless. Because wolves are out here and they'll take advantage of you and all of that type of stuff. You're right, but you know, no one's responsible to your happiness, your joy, and we're not entitled for anybody to care. So we got to care about it ourselves.
Right. And that's why
ownership.
Question. Yeah. That's why I posed the question was, you know, why can't I get along with my baby mama? You know what I mean? Because I really want guys to like really take and think about that question and really internalize that question and you know, do some self-reflecting,
soul searching,
some inside thought. Because maybe the key to that better relationship is a motherfucker taking a step back and looking at their part in it instead of just shifting the blame and saying, oh, well, it's all her fault. She's a fucking crazy ass chick. Because in all of that, that blame is shared both ways. I mean, she could be a crazy ass chick, but you're over here adding to the crazy by not fucking
communicating, you know, listen to her. Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But I think it's an important topic for guys to talk about, because outside of my baby mama's crazy, that's about it, really it. And then if you even start to or begin to have a discussion or a conversation with the dude about it, 90% of the time it just ends up being a conversation about how crazy the fucking woman is, and the guy just absolutely takes no responsibility in that. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yes, definitely. That's what Gizzo been saying. That's what our man say. And we talk about that you can't control nobody's thing. But like Giz did mention, if you constantly let people into your inner circle and within the stuff that you can't control, and let them put stuff off on you. Let's keep it to the baby mama.
Somebody stealing from you every day. That's a whole different thing.
Well,
we're talking about a one-on-one relationship.
But no, we're talking about being able to mentally. We're talking about being able to mentally break somebody, bro. I've met women that have been mentally broken the fuck down by the abusive person that they were with, and they're fucked up and got a lot of healing and rehealing and shit and to do. Like, you can I mean, yeah, you're talking about maybe we can't make somebody crazy, but you can definitely affect somebody's fucking deep mental, like really far. Like, I've seen people get broken, get fucked over. Like,
yeah, no, people get you. But it's a practice. Like anything, is all a practice. And it's easier said than done. I'm not dismissing that people will fuck you up. You know what I'm saying? Right. Like, absolutely, they will. You know, like if you allow them to. It's all perspective and work. You know what I'm saying? And again, like, not putting in it, but it's easier said than done. But, you know, but yeah, you have to do the work to protect yourself. And, you know, you have to do the work to protect yourself while not being totally an asshole to everybody. It's all perspective. Everything is perspective. You know what I'm saying? One perspective is like, this person is doing this to me. One perspective is, I allow this person to do this for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's this perspective. You like, what can I do to prevent that? You know, someone coming to rob you, you can't necessarily prevent that, but you can take certain preventative measures. You could be strapped, you could not go out late at night, you know, and it doesn't mean that no one's entitled to be robbed. No one's entitled to be hurt or heartbroken by a partner or any of that, or a friend or any of that type of stuff. But accountability gotta be, you know, because we are not helpless. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, maybe like for me, I trust everybody. You know what I'm saying? I trust everybody to do what they show me to do. The only people I don't trust is people I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I trust everybody. That person is irresponsible. So I trust you to be irresponsible. That means I gotta move a certain way. That motherfucker's a snake. I trust you to bite me. I hope you've been devenomized and all that stuff. I trust everybody. You a stranger, I absolutely don't trust you because I don't know you. Stay the fuck away from me. Like, you know what I'm saying? Until I get to know you, or I can see you in a situation where it's like, oh, I can trust you. Oh, you a crook. All right, I can trust you. Because I know you're gonna steal from me because you're a crook.
You're a crook.
I trust everybody I know. If I don't know you, then I don't trust you.
Right. I guess that's kind of like the comment here. It says accountability and recognition. So, like you say, you give them a chance to be who they is, show you who they is. So that makes perfect sense. Perfect sense. Yeah, to let them just show you who they are. So,
well, okay, and all of that is great. All of that sounds beautiful in theory.
In practice, not in theory, in practice.
Okay, Nosh Griffin says it takes a lot to get to a place where you can slow down and look at your situation. And number one, take accountability for your part of the good and bad. And then number two, work on what you have to work on.
Which is what D-Nice always say. Yeah, right. D6. Yeah.
Well, not everybody's equipped. Not everybody's equipped with tools for that.
That's what this conversation is hopefully for anybody watching this shit.
Right.
Trying to work this shit out in between the homies.
But that's why I felt like it was something that needed to be talked about. I know that sometimes we get off of topic and we say a lot of things, and like OT is like, "Whoa, you're beating on a dead horse." And I don't think, if the question is answered and talked about the way that it is formed, that it makes a lot of sense. At least in my brain it did. Because I think men need to talk about that shit instead of shifting the blame or thinking the blame is only on this one person. Like, oh, that she's fucking crazy. And she won't talk to me. She doesn't talk to me. And when I do talk to her, all she does is yell, bitch, and complain. She won't let me see my fucking kid. She won't do this. She won't do that. But then again, like, my G, then what are you doing for her to be that way?
I think time heals. So I think this situation, this drama and shit that we're talking about is probably we're talking about like early stages of like a separation, maybe, because for most people that I know that have been separated for more than 4 or 5 years, whatever the case is, that shit's no longer like that. Like the anger goes away and the shit like dissipates, and it just, you know what I mean? Like, even for me, like with the mother of my girls, when we split up, we weren't like too cool at first, bro. We were fucking still talking shit, and it was a nasty like split up. But we're like 8 or 9 years into it, and now we can talk, and we talk to each other. We talk about the kids.
What was that pivotal moment for you, though? Hold on, real quick. Nasha Griffin says, "I'm a firm believer in believing who a person shows me they are."
Right.
Yeah.
Let them like D said. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That doesn't mean a motherfucker can't change, though.
What do you think, sir?
I mean, like,
if you're 45 and showing me who the fuck you are, I don't know, bro.
No, I'm saying what I mean by that is like everything happens for everybody at different stages and shit. You know what I mean? Maybe I'll just speak on myself. It took a long time for me to realize that alcohol was a problem for me in my relationship. And I'm at a point right now where I realize that, and I'm taking accountability for it. And I have to take accountability for my actions and the things that I damaged and the things that I've done in that process. It doesn't mean I forget about them. It doesn't mean that I dismiss them to the other person. Right. It just means that I'm taking accountability for it. So once once I take accountability for it, I take away the card of holding it against me all the fucking time. So that yellow folder is now in the trash and deleted. It's not deleted in the sense because it's always going to be there because I did do it but I'm taking accountability. I'm changing my actions, and I change how I maneuver. I change how I think, And once you start doing those things, everything else will change around you. They will change around you. If I'm hyper aware of me, it stands to reason that the other people either are going to be hyper aware of me as well, or they're going to move away. And if they move away, they were probably never supposed to be in my life anyways.
Real talk.
And that's just my opinion. And that's
I second that one.
Okay.
I second that one. That's good.
But you also can't control how people look at shit. Like you can't walk around and say, "Oh, I'm changed and I believe in myself." No. And now everybody got to drop.
That's not what the fuck I'm saying.
The shit that you did.
No, that's not what the fuck. Because you can remember it, believe it, do whatever.
Like Miklo says, I'll take it off my book, but I'm gonna have it up here.
And good.
You know?
I want you to remember everything. But in that, don't forget where I am in the moment, though. In that. Because whoever, and listen, I'm just going to say this. For every person that does fucked up shit or is a fucked up person, the real person inside, in my opinion, is really screaming to get out. Because what I found out in my little journey, that this person that I am today has always been there. Okay, I was covering up shit with alcohol to suppress things and to you know, and also to not give a fuck. So if I didn't give a fuck, the alcohol helped me get a goddamn pass. In my mind,
for you though, only for you.
Yeah, but
yeah, the alcohol don't give the other person a pass.
I didn't say
to give your family.
I'm saying it does.
Nor does it give a cousin? Nor does it give a person that you meeting across the street? Just because you gotta everything's good or I'm having alcohol. Fuck you. It ain't good. It ain't a pass.
But I didn't say. Listen, man. What I'm saying is, in my journey, yours may be different, but in my journey, I am taking full responsibility for my actions, past, present, and I can't do shit about tomorrow because tomorrow ain't here yet. But when I wake up in the morning, I put my best foot forward, and I'm very conscious of putting my best foot forward. And I do that. I have to do that every day. Like it's a real thing for me. And in me doing that, you know, either people are going to recognize it or they're going to still be, listen, the past, the present, and the future, the past can't live in those areas, bro. It can't. You cannot dictate the past because it's already happened. You can't predict the future because you don't fucking know. Those two things can't live. Like if because I've had it happen. Someone holds something against me because it happened in the past, but where I am right now, that shit don't live together.
And that's
and that shit cannot live together. And I'm not.
Everybody not ready to let go. As you saw this weekend, everybody's not ready to let go, bro.
Yeah, and I'm not responsible for that.
No, you're not.
But what I can do is continue to be and put my best foot forward, and in that process,
no facts.
They don't have to accept it. They can, and that would be great, but not everybody will.
Nope.
And it's okay.
Yeah. And they're not entitled to. And that's the thing. They're not entitled. They're not, you know, you would hope that people would give grace, but they're not entitled to give grace because people might be scared and guarded. And then, you know, and that's
let me read
that's fair. You know.
Let me read it. Let's be professional here. So all right, so we got a comment. Naj Griffin says the way people were patient with you when you were drinking, you need to extend that same patience and grace to them in terms of forgiving your past behaviors.
I'm so glad you said that because I do. I 100%. When I say that I wake up every morning and put my fucking best foot forward, I do. And that means me being patient. That also means me sitting down and being quiet and listening. That also means me taking accountability. All of those things work hand in hand. I'm not an idiot.
Okay.
You know, and I don't feel the need to say that, but that's just the truth of it. I'm not an idiot. I don't think that any person, any sane, logical person, I don't disagree with you. I don't live in that space though, Miss Griffin. I don't live in that space. I am patient, extremely patient, because I also understand my actions. And for me to have grace for that person is an absolute, especially if I want them to hear what I'm saying, see me for me, see me for my actions, see me in the moment, because I can't live in the past. I can't, and I won't. And all I ask, because I feel like I'm a very simple person. I don't ask people for shit. I don't need anything. I have all of my wants taken care of. I don't need shit. And what I would want from someone is just be in the moment with me, because that's all I have is the moment. I don't have tomorrow yet, but I have the moment right now.
Well, how do you state that when you start the day off, you started off at a positive thing? If that's not living for the moment, I mean, you have to have that heat. You have to make that assessment. So yesterday, I'm gonna tell you something. I fed some homeless people about 4 hours, and out there when they're in that streets, when they're out there grinding, it's a different world. So not to be going off different topics, but your interaction. So we talked to some people, and at first they was like raw, no, whatever, we ain't here to just give me the food, F what you got going on. But after they talk to you and they learn, again, through that effective communication, I'm speaking, you listening, you accepting what you are, that you can change, and then you tell them that. And by the end of the 4 hours, it was total different. The conversation was different, because you can effectively communicate, because you have to speak, someone else has to speak, you got to listen, interpret what you hear, and then give something back. But if you're in that alcohol mode where you say, fuck it, I'm just having a good time, like you said, when you was in that drunken state, your state of mind is incorrect. You don't care about it. And then go back to dealing with your baby mama problem. Same thing. I'm here with this baby mama. She's fucked up because now me and her ain't getting along. Whatever you talk about, you crazy. She's saying you narcissist because it's all about you. When you drop them off, there it is. That's when that babysitter nonsense come in, and everybody gets, because the communication is off.
You want to read that? Because I really seriously want
to get to it.
Yeah. So no, and definitely, OT, you're definitely right about that. Communication is key with the baby mama, man. So so Melvin Sykes commented right now, and he said, you got to move on. You cannot let your evolution be stagnated by somebody holding on to the past. And real quick, what I got to say about that, since I just read the comment, is correct. But at the same time, acknowledging that people do not let go of the past. So whether you're living in your moment, you're saying, hey, bro, that's not me no more. I'm changed. I am not that person. Do not address me as that person. I am me in this moment. But don't forget that the world doesn't work that way, bro.
Oh, no, I know.
The world always fucking remembers. The internet will always remember. Everybody always remembers.
Your last post.
So at the same time, don't let that stagnate you. Like Melvin said, don't let it stagnate you. But remember that motherfuckers are not going to forget.
Listen, this is why
it's beyond, you're right, Gizzo, but it's beyond forgetting. Because in life, if you want to understand the unknown, you first study the known. So when people like use that to like move forward and push forward, like we hope that everybody would extend us grace, but not everybody. We're not entitled to nobody's grace.
Right.
And that's the tricky thing, to extend grace to ourselves and to be better than what we was yesterday. But also we got to be better, but while knowing that we're not entitled to nobody's grace. We hope for it. Right. We hope we're like, oh man, D-Nick was tripping before, but he better now. We hope that they would extend me or anybody else, OT or you or he, like grace. But man, we're not entitled to that grace.
Right.
No, and we have to the real like kick in the nuts. But this is where the work come in, is how do we do the work for ourselves, holding ourselves accountable. And a part of that accountability is like, man, I was fucked up in the past, so these people not finna, they kind of gun shy about me, because again, if you want to understand the unknown, you first got to study the known. You know what I'm saying? And then there's new knowns, things change. It's not so much always about people won't let it go or let forget. They want to study the unknown. We like he said, we don't know the unknown. But to understand the unknown, we first study the known. Right. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like one of my brothers, man, you know, and I might have told this story before, but he was drinking a lot, man, and for many years that I knew him, and he was one of our sub T homies, and we had issues, bro, throughout the years, many issues and little things that would pop up, and it was always when he was drunk and we were drinking. And I didn't see him for like 2 years, and then one day he pops up and he walks up to me and he's like, "Hey, bro," shakes my hand. He goes, "Man, I just want to tell you, bro, that I'm in a recovery process right now, and part of that is acknowledging that I really fucked up like relationships with people, man, and coming to those people and at least telling them that I apologize for what happened, and if they want to accept me back, I appreciate that, you know." And we were able to mend our relationship, and now he's clean and shit and sober, and you know what I mean? But I think part of his healing process was coming up and saying, "Hey, man, I'm sorry for what I did, and I'm here acknowledging it, bro. Like I'm trying to."
That's part of that.
And that is exactly what I do daily. When I started doing Unwrap and doing this, like I'm running back into people that I've met before that I literally forgot that I met them because I was drunk and I was fucking probably an asshole, probably whatever. I extend my apology all the fucking time because I understand and know what I did, and they don't owe me shit. In my relationship right now, she don't owe me shit. Right. I told her, you don't owe me shit. The only thing I'm asking, if you could be so fucking gracious enough, is to be in the moment with me. That's it. Because if you're in the moment with me, these things are going to show. The things that you needed to see from me before, they will show. They will be there. And if I fuck it up, well, then you know what? You were right. You were right about it.
But you know what? You know what? Those things will show whether they're in the moment with you or not.
No, I understand.
Sometimes they'll show better. It's hard to say, but sometimes they'll show better when they're not in the moment with you.
No, what I mean by the moment, I mean like I did a lot of things, and I also secluded myself, right?
No, that's how I interpret that. Yeah.
And so,
but it'll show. Right. It'll show, like, you know, whether they're in the moment with you or not, because they might just be in protection mode.
Yeah.
And there's other things that my father, who's a recovering addict, he was a Navy dude, you know what I'm saying? And like he didn't raise me, I didn't grow up with him, you know what I'm saying? But we're tight now. I always call him my spirit animal, you know what I'm saying? Because he's a psychotherapist now out by you, OT, out in LA and all of that stuff.
Okay.
And the brother told me, he was like, man, after he was talking about the 12-step program, right? And he was just like, after the 12-step is the like the bait and switch almost, because the 12-step is the forever step. Meaning once you've cleared yourself from the addiction, whatever that is, whatever the problem is, and this goes even beyond addiction just to a problem, but we're using addiction as the analogy now, is you have to like heal the addictive trait in you, like what it is about you that gets addicted to those things. And so that's even goes for bad behavior or whatever. Once you stop the bad behavior, you have to, stop that trait that is attracted to bad behavior. So you don't be like the Milton boy, like, I like to do bad things. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
And so it's a process, man. And people will like show grace as we prove we're deserving of grace. Right. And they don't give us the benefit of doubt. So you just keep showing and proving, and it sucks. But it's like it's almost like sometimes it's like forever punishment almost. You know what I'm saying? Like, but we just gotta eat that.
Yeah, and that's what I also say. And I'm glad you said that. Because when I'm saying all of this stuff, being in the moment and all that shit, and this goes back to Miss Griffin's fucking statement about what did she say?
Giving people the extending them the same grace they extended you.
Right. So and to D-Nick's point, like I say it, like not only do I know what I did, but I say don't worry about me. I can handle it. Give it to me, but don't hold it against me. If that makes any sense.
Yeah.
I can take it. Don't be worried, because the thing that has happened is person's lying to me for fear of the old reaction. Now you're just fucking with me. But I understand you're in protective mode, but that's not helping. It ain't helping nothing, because don't be worried about me, because I got to worry about me. If that makes sense.
It might be perceived, it might not be, it's not helping you, but it might be, they might perceive it as it's helping them.
Coping
they might.
Right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Again, in saying that, I say I can take it. If you want to dish it out, I can take it. If you want to tell me something, I can take it. I'm in charge of my fucking feelings. Let me be the person who says, okay, I can take that or I can't take that. You cannot be in charge of what I can deal with. I know what I can deal with. And if I say I can deal with it, and this is the way that I'm maneuvering now in my life, trust and believe I can deal with it. I will deal with it, because in order for me to move forward with anything that I'm doing in my life right now, I got to deal with me first. And that's part of the process. I got to deal with me. So don't worry about me, because I'm already dealing with me. You can't worry about me and how I'm going to respond, because I'm in charge of that. I'm in charge of how I respond. That's why you don't believe that, huh? You won't make your faces. You don't. Okay, OT. So you don't feel that you're in charge of your response to anything?
You can be so. I mean, you can't say I'm not going to be responsible, because, like Gizzle said earlier, if I tell you every day you're a piece of shit, and I'm somebody that you trust, you can affect me really bad. So you can't say. I mean, you maybe personally, you personally maybe, but I'm telling you, if somebody you care about hit you with that, you fucked up. You always on that bullshit. You always got this fucked up attitude. And they don't give you that grace like we're talking about, and somebody important in your life, i.e. a significant other, somebody that you co-parenting with, it gets pretty deep, brother.
And so that's where all the time.
You got to, I mean,
okay. But just
you can take responsibility, but you got to check it.
Just as I'm responsible for my own actions, I'm not responsible for their actions or their behaviors. What I can do is set boundaries. What I can do is set boundaries. I can say, hey, listen, this is what I can deal with, and this is what I can't deal with.
Right.
I can do that all goddamn day long and stand on it. And as long to me, as long as I set my boundaries, then you can't hold that card over me anymore. My boundaries like this. Okay, I get it. You want to do that. You feel like you need to do this or that. I'm cool with that. Just don't do this to me.
Right.
And we can meet in the middle.
Good. Yes.
But when I'm saying be in the moment with me, that's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about be in the middle with me. So let's find some even ground.
Right.
Well, that's the importance of the boundaries. So if they choose not to, because they're entitled to not meet in the middle with you.
Right.
But you're also entitled to those boundaries, and you have to eat the cost of those boundaries. You know, as do they. It's mutual. Like absolutely.
Because I can't. What I won't do is sit and beat on a dead horse. You're not gonna. Because I don't have space in my brain for that. That shit no longer occupies a condo, a studio apartment, or nothing in my brain. I don't have the space for it, and I'm not gonna give it space.
Right. Real talk.
Yeah.
Communicate all day long. I will talk. I will listen. I will be understanding. I'll be there. I mean, when I say I'll be there, I'll be there. I will listen. I'll take responsibility. But you're not going to beat on me for it, though. Because I don't have to listen to it. That's my choice if I sit there and, as you said, listen to somebody call me a piece of shit all goddamn day. That's if I want to sit there and be berated by somebody, that's on me.
No, you don't need to sit there. Definitely never sit there and be berated. But I've also learned that like a lot of the times, like if you care about the other person, you have to sit there and allow them to release like how they feel about you in a situation too.
100%.
So you gotta be willing to have that part of it where you sit there and that's their release. And if you're both trying to mend or heal a situation, it involves also sitting there and listening to what the fuck you did.
Right.
You know, can't just be like, no, I don't want to hear it. I'm different. I'm changed. You know, it's gotta be like, all right. Listen to her, listen to him, and vice versa.
Right. That is exactly what I'm saying. But I mean, you know, like like I had a situation where even me drinking, okay, and this doesn't apply to everybody, but it applied to me. Real quick, D-Nick, and I want your opinion on this. So my drinking, in my mind, didn't affect anybody but me. Right. And so while I'm being told you need to quit drinking because it's affecting everybody, in my mind, it wasn't affecting everybody. It was affecting me. And I was in control of it. So fuck what everybody's saying or thinking. Right. Now, in that whole shit, this person's telling me you need to quit drinking. I don't fucking even realize that they're saying you need to quit drinking or else this is over.
Like an intervention.
No, they never really said it to me. And I didn't really get it up until 6 months ago. And I'm like, you could have knocked me over with a feather, because I'm like, why in the fuck didn't you tell me it was that important? Because had I known it was that important, I would have quit a long time ago. Because this is important to me. And I didn't see it. And anybody, I don't give a fuck what anybody says, because when you're in that kind of shit, you don't see it.
Yes.
And some of us need billboards. Some of us need a tap on the shoulder. Some of us need a whisper in the ear. I'm a motherfucker who needs a billboard. You have to fucking tell me, hey, because in whatever I'm doing at that moment, I may not see that shit. And that shit blew my fucking mind. Yeah. I literally felt like you could knock me over with a feather, because I was like, wait, what? I literally took the drink that I had as I was talking, that I had just poured that shit the fuck out. And then, that's it. Because had I known it was that important. And also, too,
nobody had ever told you that drinking had affected.
Again, did you hear what I said?
She didn't give a fuck.
It wasn't affecting everybody. It was affecting.
It was though. It was.
But
you just didn't perceive it.
Even though people told you.
My mind, hear me. In my mind,
the world of heat.
In my mind, the alcohol wasn't affecting shit, because I had control of it. I had whatever in the fuck, man. Yeah, Melvin, a billboard. That's me. I'm a guy who needs a billboard. Not so much too much anymore, but I do still need open communication. I'm a talker. So I need a person to talk to me. You know, but going back to that whole shit, for me, I'm talking about me, because this shit is not across the board for everybody. But for me, I need somebody to outright tell me something. Because
I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you. So
go ahead.
Well, you know, two things, like everybody is, maybe even more than two, but everybody, you know, like, okay, you need that. Not everybody knows how to be that. And then, you know, one thing we all gotta like realize and constantly at great exhaustion work on is, what we think just affects us, man, it affects everybody. Like everybody in our entire universe. Every little thing affects everybody in our entire universe. When my OG cousin like had shot this fool, you know what I'm saying, and had to go to jail and all of this type of stuff, and the family was trying to get money for this dude to get a lawyer. That affected me all the way out here in Chicago, because, like, you know, I got a choice to make. Do I want to Do I want to give up this money that like was saved for me for school to knock him down some time, or do like I want to take a shot at him getting less time than what he was going to get? And that affected me. You know what I'm saying? Like literally affected me. And then I got to working 3 jobs while in college. You know what I'm saying? My mother got depressed. You know what I'm saying? And then all of that type of stuff. And everybody fell away. It didn't just affect him. Yeah, he did that 9 years. You know what I'm saying? That was on him. You know what I'm saying? And he had he suffered for his actions, but it just the ripple effect to all of us, we don't know. And if we don't acknowledge it, then that becomes a thing. And then that's where a lot of anger comes too. Because we only focus.
I'm sorry, but I'm glad you said that, because that's also something that I said today was like, I'm really at this point that I just like not just realized it, but as I'm going through this whole metamorphosis of self, that I'm realizing, man, I affected her brother, her mother, her other brother.
So it wasn't just you.
Sister. No, there's a lot of moving parts to this, and I get it. And I just like I told her, I got to eat that shit every day, especially when I know what the fuck I did, and in walking this way right now, I have to eat that shit. I have to. For me, I got to eat it, because I know what the fuck I did at this point. I know what the fuck is going on. I'm not a dumbass, man. You know what I'm saying? I got to eat that. But I'm also not going to eat it at the cost of myself.
What up, Shadow Master?
Is in the comments, man. He said everyone comes to their own realization of the problem when it's their time, no matter who it's affecting in the process.
Yeah. That's another thing I say, man.
You can't make somebody want it.
That it took me this motherfucking long, but then again, I have to eat that within self. I got to eat that.
But nobody could have made you want it besides you, though.
No. I didn't say that.
Because I'm sure there was people in your lifetime, in your whole life, that said to you, "Hey, man, your drinking's affecting you," but it wasn't until you had the realization that you were done.
The thing that I beat myself up on is that it took me this long to fucking come to this realization. So there's still things that I got to eat within self. There's still things I mean, there's shit every day. And like I said this morning, I wake up every day to make sure I don't have beautiful days every fucking day. I'm not if I'm not a lunatic, I don't have beautiful days every day. I'm a realist. I got fucked up days. But when I wake up, if I'm blessed enough to wake up tomorrow, my foot stepping off that bed is going to be better than it was yesterday. And I'm going to make sure of that, or at least I'm going to put that best foot forward. And that's all I can fucking do. I can't do any more, and I can't do any less. I mean, I can do less, but I'm choosing not. I want to put forth my best foot.
Put the foot forth. That's a choice. Hey, brothers, I'm running out of battery. Much love to y'all.
All right, peace.
In the shadows.
Blessings. Blessings, OT.
All right.
But yeah, I mean, like I understand I got to eat all that shit. I understand all of these different things, but even still, within all of that, I too have boundaries. Fucking contrary to popular belief, you know what I'm saying? Just because I didn't feel like I had boundaries before or whatever, I too have boundaries because I need space. I need things. Well, I want these things for myself as well. So I got boundaries, motherfucker.
That's the sport of it, man. It's always that's what makes the journey and the story entertaining, because it's all about figuring it out, and it's not perfect. And everybody got, and they have their agenda to it, and they're not, not everybody's wrong, but as long as everybody's doing the work, man, shoot each other some grace, yo. We just shoot each other some grace.
Yeah.
And patience.
Yeah. Patience is key. Something I didn't have very much of before. But,
so, Godspeed, man. You shoot her some patience in dealing with you. You know what I'm saying? Because that's a job. That's a job, just dealing with a motherfucker.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
because even, bro, my whole family has to fucking understand this new me. Because it's brand new to them.
Yeah.
This is all new. So how they respond and react to me, a lot of times it's how I was, and I have to like not only do I have to eat that, but I also must set boundaries on how they respond and react to me, because there's things I will not entertain. And I will
and
not.
The cool part is that as time goes on, you will know, because you'll be in compromising situations where you got to show and prove. And when those times come, it's like, oh, his brother is different. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what it counts to. And then
Right.
everyone, and those that, like, not everybody makes it to the end of the story with you.
Right.
Some people lead a movie early,
Right.
and job bless. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Job bless to them. But you wish them well, and just extend some grace, man. And that's how I go.
Right.
But you got it, man. Like you said, one day at a time, brother.
Yeah.
Like the Alkies
Yeah.
are trying to do.
I don't
That's how
prescribe.
they trying to do. One day at a time.
Yeah. And I was just saying to my wife today, man, like I don't even like people saying my sobriety, man. I'm of clear mind. I don't like the term my sobriety. I prefer the term being of clear mind. But
why you don't like the term? I'm curious.
Okay. My mom used to be like an administrator or some shit for Alcoholics Anonymous.
Mm-hmm.
It always baffled me even in my drinking. She used to want me to go to meetings, and if you go to a meeting, you'll see and you'll figure it out, all that shit. And when I went there, I would go, but I wouldn't talk. And I just found it really baffling to me how a person would constantly say that they're an alcoholic if they quit drinking. I don't prescribe to that fucking type of thinking, because if like my thought process is like, if you tell somebody a banana is an orange long enough, they're going to believe that the banana is a fucking orange. And so if I'm telling myself that I am an alcoholic, but I don't drink, what am I telling myself?
I hear that. I've heard people. I understand that their perspective is, if you don't like I said, I'm a hugger, man. So acknowledge, embrace, and let it go. If you don't acknowledge it, then you can't embrace it, and then you can't let it go. Now there's the other train of thought, which is what you talking about, and what I do in my own spiritual practices as a Rastafari. You speak it into existence. Exactly. And we got a song like that, and you speak it in existence. So those are like two conflicting philosophies.
Right.
And I think I know the reason that the other is championed more is because a lot of people with addictions are always looking to make excuses of I don't have a problem, I can quit anytime, da 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 da, and you know what I'm saying? So they don't have the practice of, hello, my name is such and such, and I'm an alcoholic, because they can't embrace and let it go if they don't first acknowledge, you know what I'm saying? And that's coming at it from someone like from the world. I tend to think that speaking it into existence is a moving forward type of concept versus a restorative concept, which is, you know what I'm saying? Right. So I think that's probably what your conflict is, because like, whereas like maybe you don't see it, or maybe you don't see it as restorative. Like you see it as like, man, I used to do this and I'm done. I remember you telling me you stopped cold turkey. So you're trying to move forward versus trying to restore necessarily what's within you. Like I said, that 12 step, man, they say that's the forever trying to heal the addictive personality within you. You know what I'm saying? So shout outs to me. Like,
it's the power of words. It's the spell. It's a spell manifesting your words. I believe that. I was always as a child.
That was Shadow Master.
So like, I for real was taught that as a kid. Be careful of what you say. Watch what falls out of your mouth. And so I prescribe to that line of thinking. And so when somebody says in my sobriety, what am I sober from? Like in my thoughts, because I don't feel like I got sober. I feel like I hit the problem head on for what it was, and I dealt with it, and I deal with it every day. And I don't really even deal with it because I don't think about it like that. My brain says you're done. That's it. That's my train of thought, though. That may not work for everybody else. I don't know what.
Yeah, it's just the you know, a contrasting like philosophy. Like I said, I know speaking things into existence is manifesting so you move forward, and that's
right.
how it works. And also, like saying like I'm an alcoholic is the power of words too. And then there's also another thing that we don't talk about where it's perception. You know, a lot of people have told me like, man, don't say you got MS, you don't have multiple sclerosis, you got da 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 da. You know, you're still able to walk, you're still able to break, you're still able to perform on all of that stuff. I personally choose to be like, I have MS, but I didn't, where the versus changing the words, I just changed the perception. I
Right.
have MS, MS doesn't have me. You know what I'm saying? And that's, you know, versus changing the words, I changed the perception. So it's always those two type of things, you know. And they're not, and those are philosophies, yo. Philosophies are like in counseling, those are like ideas and concepts. It's not like directly right or wrong. You know what I'm saying? It's just what work and what don't work for you. You know what I'm saying? And you know, if you can speak it into existence while physically healing yourself, you know, and all of that stuff, then cool. If you're having trouble with restorative, you know, with you know, reparations on like damage you've done to yourself and others, then you know, it may be like, I'm not saying do it, but it may be a thing to think about, like, my name is such and such and I'm an alcoholic. You know, it's like, woo, gotta acknowledge that. Cause it's all perception. It reminds you to, cause it's a reminder of like, man, if I'm an alcoholic and I don't want to be that, I can't act on that. You know what I'm saying? And then, you know, it's not against, but it's just different from the, I'm not that, I'm not claiming that, you know, which both are right. Both are right.
Yeah, both are right. And by the way, and I'm not trying to get or have anyone agree with me. I'm just going to say that I do acknowledge the fact that I had a drinking problem, but that's where it stops. Because I'm not going to say every day that I have a fucking, I don't drink, period. I don't have the desire to drink either. I acknowledge that it was a problem, but I'm not saying I'm all like past it, shit like that, because like I said, I just get up every morning and I have to deal with whatever I'm dealing with in my mind. And before I put my foot on the floor to take my first step of the day, I make sure it's the best one.
Yeah, man.
All I can
as
do.
long as you ain't delusional about the restorative parts, then you good. Like, because that's what that all is just a reminder to get you to do the work, to acknowledge what you said you do, to embrace what you just said you do, and to let go what you've been campaigning about, like since I've been on this stream. So like, yeah, that's all. That's the only reason people say those things, because a lot of people don't acknowledge, embrace, and therefore they can't let it go.
Right.
And if you do,
sorry, bro. Shadow Master said, "Gotta know the actual meaning of the words we choose to use as well."
You can cast the wrong spell on your listeners.
Yeah.
True.
He also said the root Greek meaning of sobriety means something different. Can't remember, but it's not what you have been taught it means.
Right.
Okay.
I didn't know that.
Well, then I'll look that up, and because I love learning new shit.
We'll go look it up.
New
right
words,
now.
New shit.
I'm the fact checker.
Okay, but again, this goes back to everything that we were talking about in the beginning about if a man wants to know what the fucking problem is with his baby mama, maybe you need to look within yourself first before you cast that stone.
So
go ahead.
It says the question people asked was, what is the true meaning of sobriety? Sobriety refers to the psychological The physiological and psychological state of being unaffected by the presence of an intoxicant. For people who are in recovery from a substance or alcohol use, the definition of sobriety is similar to the definition of abstinence. It means living a life free of drug or alcohol use.
Okay, he's talking about the Greek meaning. But
yeah, that's the modern definition. Oh, blessings to you, Natasha Griffin. Yeah, man, it's a kicker, right? But you know, we do it. Natasha Griffin says I have MS too. Yeah, it's something, right?
yeah, but yeah, see, even that, like, I knew I've known people before that drank like I did and actually went through like these crazy withdrawals and all kinds of crazy ass shit. I didn't have any. I didn't have any physiological things that affected me physically in all of this. It just, I don't know, it just did it. And there was something I was getting ready to say. Some of it in my thinking is it goes back to my mother and why, like, I've never done drugs and why I don't smoke weed. My mom was an alcoholic, drug addict from the good majority of my life. Rest in peace, Mom. But she at one moment in her being sober, not being high, it was like on a Saturday or some shit, and then like 8 o'clock, 6 o'clock or some shit in the morning. It was early as fuck. I woke up to her grabbing my wrist and shaking me and saying, "Please promise me you will never do drugs." And I was just freaked out by her just shaking me and saying that. And I said, okay. And I didn't understand what that meant to her. And also what it would end up meaning to me in my life. Because my brother was an alcoholic, a drug addict, rest in peace. My sister was an alcoholic, drug addict. She's still alive. She hasn't done drugs in a zillion years. But
damn, bless.
Yeah. But my thought process on all of that was kind of shaped and formed as a child and really shaped and formed in that moment of what my mom said to me. And I didn't realize any of that for a long time. And so, like, when I think about those kinds of things, especially now when I think about those kinds of things, it for lack of better way to put it, it helps me and guides me through all of this shit. And it helps me and guides me through this journey of mine. And to, just so that we double back on why is my baby mama, why is she so hard to get along with? I feel like, you know, I just can't, I like right now in my life, I just can't get past accountability. I feel like once a motherfucker starts taking accountability and really mean it, other shit will start to fall into place for that person.
Yeah.
Not for everything else around, because everything else around them will start moving different because they will be moving different.
That's the first rule of our in my counseling session. That's the first of the 6 core values is accountability. That's number 1.
That's wild. And I thank a lot of that to you guys and to this show, because remember when we changed the name of it, because I had that moment and I was going through some shit and it was relationship related and I was fucking furious, but I was also frustrated as all fucking hell. And I just, before the show, I remember saying, man, I just want to check in with you guys because I'm not having a good day and I don't want to do this shit right now. And we just started talking about it and it flowed over into the show, which was Sunday sit downs with the OGs. And it ended up being like crazy. And I felt it was really therapeutic for me. That next morning I woke up and I was like, shit. And by the way, I was still drinking at that point. It was right towards the end of me drinking, because I woke up that morning and I said, fuck, that was powerful as shit. And it's important that we have a space to talk. And so I was like, no, this name's got to be changed. This shit's got to be the check-in. And in that, and me fucking quitting drinking was, fuck. Now I got to be accountable for my fucking words and my actions, because I can't do this show in a right frame of mind, knowing that I'm fucking over here not saying or doing the shit that I'm saying. So that helped me as well, if that makes any sense. That helped me as well. Yeah. And I'm like, okay, this is accountability to me. This show is about accountability to me, for me. You know what I'm saying? And I think it's important. I mean, I scream about it every show. But it's important. Hold on. Cam is trying to get into the show. You've got to use if you're using your phone, you have an iPhone, you've got to use Google Chrome. I think most of the time Google Chrome will work. Sometimes Safari gives you issues and problems.
Much love, Cam. Much love, brother.
Yeah. He's saying shout out. I'm trying to get to the
peace to the homie Cam, bro. Yeah, hit that link on that. Use the Google Chrome for sure. That'll get you in. Shadow Master said, what will fuck you up is this: the word queen comes from a Greek word queen, which means whore. Fact check it.
Hey, and I don't prescribe. We ain't gonna get into that, because I don't subscribe to she's my queen shit. I don't call any woman a fucking queen. I don't. And that's just, but because I just don't, I don't know. That's crazy that he said that, but I don't. I just find it weird. I do. I really find that shit weird. I was talking to my son about it. I was like, man, he's like, she's my queen. I was like, that shit's disgusting. I don't know about that one. I just don't do it. Now, I can love that person like a motherfucker. I'm not going to worship the ground they walk on. I'm not going to, no.
It's all perception, man.
Yeah.
So I'm with you. Like, I don't want to be called the king. I'm a poor righteous teacher. Yeah. Like as a king, then I should have a harem, because kings have harems. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's a lot of things that come with these type of terms, and but that's for me. Like, I'm mad, like literal and specific. You know what I'm saying? So it's like doing that don't really work for me. But if you're just, man, you just want to, like, I don't get offended. I don't get tight when someone like, oh, especially in the Pan-African like community, when it's like, yo, king, yo, brother king, I get it. I know what they doing, and I respect that. I'm not offended or tight about it. You know what I'm saying? I don't personally subscribe to it, but like Shadow, just call me Shadow. Can't have a Shadow without the light.
Call me Shadow. Can't have a shadow without the light. Shout out to Shadow Master. He also said that we all need that fellowship. Big facts, man. And that's why we do this show, to reel it all the way back in. That's exactly why we do this show, to give that space, to open the line of communication, to open that, quote unquote door of communication or whatever. Because I really feel like it's extremely important, especially in this walk that I'm walking right now. And it's important, and I'm very grateful to have D-Nick, you popping in. Very grateful to have Jizzo here by my side in this. Very grateful for everybody that watches and listens to, sometimes our rhetoric.
Jumps in the comments, supports us.
Yeah, because I think it's important.
Shadow been on both shows. He was on Shy City Cypher podcast, and he been on the check-in the whole time.
And he's been on Unwrap. But Sid Vicious says, he says, shout out, big shout out to the
OGs. Love, big dog.
Yeah, much love, bro.
What's up? Much love, man. Much love, man. But yeah, so like it's I think all of these things are extremely important, man. And I think dudes really need to like fucking Like, I don't know, man. Shit works for me, but I'm not saying that shit has to work for everybody else. But I mean, own your goddamn shit. You can't deflecting that shit on somebody else and saying that she's the fucking problem without looking within yourself and figuring out that maybe you probably 50% of that problem, maybe 70% of that problem, maybe 80.
And if you gotta call her a baby mama too when you talking about her, I don't know. We didn't talk about that, but like, you know, I don't know. I don't do that. I don't be like my baby mama. I feel like that shit's fucking ghetto. Like when I'm talking about that, I be like the mother of my kids, the mother of my daughters, the mother of my sons.
One of my friends, a good friend of mine, who he came to my house and he had brought the mother of his kid over. They were dropping off some cats that I was babysitting her cats or whatever. And she had come over and she was saying some shit, and then she called him her baby daddy, like in front of him. She's like, "Oh yeah, my baby daddy." And I looked at her and I said, "Man, can you not use that term in front of me, please?" No, I did, because she's also doing that in front of her daughter.
Yeah,
this is the whole father of the child, and not only that, he has main custody of her. What you mean, baby daddy? That is the father of your fucking child. She took a step back and she looked at me and she goes, "Oh shit, you're right. I'm gonna stop calling him that. I'm not gonna."
It's people's fucking lingo. That's the same. That'd be the same to say that the dude needs to come babysit his kids.
Hey, Shadow Master, no, I don't babysit cats. I was doing it a fucking favor. And trust and believe, I'm not a cat fan. Trust and believe, those
he
cats.
Got a cat babysitting service. He's like, "Hey, dog, you got any cats?"
Them
you know
motherfuckers
what I'm
were
saying?
locked
You gotta
in the
go out
room
of
until
town.
they came and got them motherfuckers. And then we had to do like a whole safari type shit to catch them motherfuckers. One of them attacked me and my guy. I got fucking scars on my arm from that motherfucker.
Hey, bro.
Claws on that. The cat that they said well, he doesn't have claws. There's no way he could do that to you.
I wanted
he couldn't.
I wanted a cat, bro.
Motherfucker ripped my shirt, scarred up my arm. Lucky I didn't kick that. Let me stop. I'm not a cat lover.
I wasn't gonna get cats, but now that I know you offer cat babysitting service, I'm
fuck out of here. We got too many cats in our house, and I can tell you right now, them motherfuckers see me coming, and
let's not gloss over this. He said, "Right, I believe you, fam."
Them motherfucking cats get out the way.
No, man, the cats was crazy, dog. It wasn't even a good experience, bro.
Yeah.
Shout out to the baby mamas and the baby daddies.
Come on, man. Now you're trying to gaslight me.
She said, "Jody, you don't love me."
Man, but yeah, like I feel like this shit is important, and I'm very appreciative of everybody that chimes in. Super appreciative to you, D-Nick.
Yeah, man, I'm working when I ain't to be. I'm back in the office tomorrow. I'm like, man, y'all be like, man, we ain't seen D-Nick in a while. That's because he's been getting ran ragged at the counseling session.
Nah, we appreciate you, because a lot of times how it's articulated, man, you bring a little bit of finesse in it. And then I know you say you're using $5 words, but you bring some a better understanding of what's trying to be said, I think.
Yeah, and I'm not better than nobody. I practice grace. It's part of my get down as a Rastafari. It's part of my get down as a music artist. It's part of my get down as a licensed counselor. So it it is what it is. I'm silly and signify with the best of them. You know what I'm saying? But when we're on public platforms and we like showing what it is, like, it's never to be better or, because like I always say, before the people that credentialed me, they started where y'all are working and they started building. So they ain't no better. I ain't no better. I just got a certificate and shit. You know what I'm saying? It's the same. Same get down.
Are 100% appreciated. But what are your thoughts on like this whole conversation that we've been having?
I think it's dope because it's on accountability. Like, we have more power than we give ourselves credit for, and we give like other shit too much credit. You know what I'm saying? Like my mom is like a stone cold pimp. you know, she's like ferocious. And like I remember like, you know, I had a cousin and his ex-wife, you know, it wasn't his ex-wife at the time, but they were on the outs. And she was just like, if I even think you cheating on me or anything, because he was working at a strip club. It was a whole thing. And she was just like, I'll go out, I'll never let you see your kids again. I'll never let you see your kids again. And he was upset, he was heartbroken about it, he was just thinking about it. And my mom, being the ice cold like chick she is, she was like, such, I ain't gonna say his name, such and such, if you don't, like, if she don't let you see your kids, go make some more. You know, like, you know, and it just kind of, you know, and it's all perspective. You know what I'm saying? Like, and you know, and that's a mother. That's a mother with an absentee, you know, like baby father. You know what I'm saying? And she never trashed on my father. They still best friends to this day. You know what I'm saying? And it just taught me a lot of things. Even before I even became a counselor, it taught me a lot of things. And I understand perspective is like 80% of all of this shit, man. It's all in how you look at it. You know what I'm saying? Like even the term baby mama and baby father, that's just like lingo for shortening stuff, because some people don't like to go through the rigmarole of saying the father of my children, the mother of my children. Some people don't like that. You know what I'm saying? It feels too $5 wordish to them. You know what I'm saying?
Like, the bell, and every time you say a $3 word, the bell is going to ring one way. When you say a $5 word, it's going to ring another way. That word's going to ring. I'm just fucking with you. I appreciate it.
But it's just grace, man. It's just grace, but the tip of the iceberg and everything that in all of my trainings and everything that I know just outside of that is accountability is top tier. And so starting with that, holding firm on that, like that is, man, like, because it's all about that, because we can't control nobody but ourselves. You know what I'm saying? So if we're accountable, it shifts the tide. You know, just like the negative stuff has a ripple effect, us taking accountability has a ripple effect. Because if we're accountable and we take accountable, it was like if she's trashing you and then the kid is like, man, why you don't do this? Oh, man, I love you. I apologize. I should have picked you up on this weekend when I didn't. You know what I'm saying? I got caught up with overtime and I was really wanting to buy you this because school, about getting a new school uniform. You know, you acknowledge it. So now the kid, now next time the BM is bagging on you in front of the kid is going to be like, it'll turn over and be like, wait, he's trying. Daddy trying. Why are you giving him a hard time? Maybe you nagging, and that's what drove my daddy away anyway, because that happens to a lot of kids too. Right. They resent the custodial parent, whether it's the mom or the dad. They resent the custodial parent for driving the other one away. You know what I'm saying? And then they got to eat that. You know what I'm saying? You know, and it's just like, then that forces everybody to work together. You know what I'm saying? Because they can't repair that relationship until you say it's cool. I did it to my father. I resented my father until he was just like, he just came clean, because they never shitted on my father. You know, I was like, man, I ain't got no father. I'm living with my grandparents. They old and da. And it's like, man, but my mom's mean, you know, and she's real pimpish. So maybe she drove him away. And then he's just like, nah, she's pimpish because I was a motherfucker. I was on that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, and shout out to the old man for, you know, healing that with me and making me and her have a better relationship. You know, now all three of us is like really tight. You know what I'm saying?
That's crazy you said that. I mean, it's not crazy, but because in having that conversation with my wife, I told her, because she's like, well, you know, like you think I'm weak, and you think, I said, no, the fuck I do. I think you're the strongest motherfucker I've ever met in my life, because for 25 motherfucking years, you've had to deal with me. And it's for real. Like, I get it. So anybody that thinks you're weak, is I had a conversation with my son, and I said, why do you think your mom's with me? And he looked at me and he's like, because she's stupid. And I said, don't ever say that. Your mom is not stupid by no stretch of the imagination.
Well, you asked him. And he gave.
Yeah, no, trust me, I hate it.
So you asked.
I ate it, but at the same time, and I also felt the need to defend her because she's not stupid.
No.
And she's the strongest motherfucker that I know because she had to build this tolerance of fucking I'm not from the fucking because shout out to your mom. You know what I'm saying? Because I know what the fuck what kind of motherfucker I was. And I know what kind of motherfucker I am because a lot of that shit still resides in me. The straightforwardness, the way that I address things and the way that I say things, that shit still resides in me, but it's not under the guise of alcohol and using excuses and shit about it anymore. And I think that's a big difference. But yeah. Man, shout out to Jessica. Shout out to my son. Shout out to my entire fucking extended family and family for, even still fucking loving my motherfucking dumbass. And, but I'm here. It is what it is. And that's why I think this shit is important. I'm about to tear up. Goddamn. Because I
do your thing, man.
Yeah, man.
Your shit, bro. Talk your shit.
Excuse me. Because I do feel it's important. It's extremely important.
It is, bro.
And to understand where you fucked up. I'm not saying it's okay. It doesn't give me a ticket to say, hey, look at me. I'm fucking healed and I'm great. But I don't know what the fuck I'm saying, man.
You good, brother.
Man, that's why we're here. That's what the check-in is for, bro. That's what we're here.
Shout out, like Twin. We need to start our own hip hop counseling hotline, man. Why y'all trying to make me work outside of work?
Jump back in that thought.
But I think it's important to really hold yourself accountable. I told my wife, I said, man, do you know how much I beat myself up every day for my actions? And I have to deal with that, and I have to eat it. It ain't up to nobody else. It's up to me to eat that shit.
Yeah.
And I take that. So when somebody tells me and says something about having trust me, I got patience. Trust me when I say I can deal with it. Because only I know what I'm capable of dealing with. Nobody's in charge of telling me what I can deal with and what I can't deal with. Let me honor that if I want to. Because that's me. I'm not saying that works for everybody. It may not. I don't know.
I would add, that and you affirm that for yourself, Heat.
Yeah.
But don't be reliant on affirmations from anybody else.
No, I don't. And that's the other part.
Yeah.
In having these conversations with my wife is that I get it. I have this need, or I have this want. I don't need shit. But I have this desire and this want not to necessarily fix things, because I can't fix something that's already happened. But I have a real desire and want to make things right. You know what I'm saying? Hey, listen, Shadow Master, part of some of this shit is
Shadow said, but don't kick your own ass so much, bro. People are more than willing to verbally do that for you. Forgive yourself.
And that's what I was gonna allude to. Because in all of this, not only do I have to forgive myself, I have to forgive other people for their actions. Well, I don't have to, but I feel the need to.
Choose to, yeah.
To forgive them. Like I thought I forgave my mother for a lot of shit, but now I'm realizing that I didn't. And so now in that, I do forgive her. Now I got to move forward. And in me moving forward is if I can forgive her, I can kick myself a little less in the ass. If that makes any sense, Shadow Master. I can kick myself less in the ass every day. But I do kick myself in the ass because part of that is for me is jump starting my day every day. You know what I'm saying? I kick myself in the ass and say, okay, well, you fucked that up yesterday. And like I said, before I put my foot down on the fucking carpet, But today, this foot is going to do better than that motherfucker yesterday. And that's really where I'm at with it. And I don't expect anything from anybody. And what I do expect is probably some people are going to hate me. Some people are going to love me. I don't know. I do expect both sides of it. I mean, that's just life. But I don't know. I can't, and to get to a point that you always allude to, D-Nick, as a creative person, and I think you can help expound on that. As a creative person, because also too, my wife suffers from ADHD, which I didn't realize was a fucking problem until I started putting all these pieces of the puzzle together.
Mm-hmm.
In all of her shit, there's other shit going on, and our brains are just wired different.
Mm-hmm.
And that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's okay. You know, if she has ADHD and I can't deal with it, I have a choice. I can fucking leave. You know what I'm saying? I can not deal with it, but I deal with it, whatever. But my brain is also wired different. As a creative person, my brain is constantly going, especially in this journey that I'm in right now with a clear ass mind. Now all of my creative thoughts are just all over the fucking place. You know,
yeah.
And I need that outlet as well.
Yeah.
Because that makes my life confusing with all of these fucking thoughts and all of this shit going on in my head about I gotta do this, I gotta do that. I need to work on this, I need to work that, I need to fucking fix, I need to learn how to do this, I need to do that. That shit is like nonstop. That shit is like a goddamn a fucking Aerosmith concert in my fucking head 24 fucking hours a day at their height. You know what I'm saying? It's just like a lot of noise, a lot of shit, a lot of things. And you take that with trauma and shit and PTSD and everything else, man, that's a lot of motherfucking shit going on. And I have to find, as what Shadow Master says right now, he says, as long as you can balance the ass kicking out with some self hugs, give yourself some love. Yeah. And that's another part. Man, I'm loving myself right now. Can't nobody tell me shit.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? Because in order for me to love somebody else, I most definitely must love me first.
It always starts with self, man. It always starts with self, brother.
Oh, Shadow Master says, every day I got damn 24-hour long music video going on in my head. Hell
that
yeah.
That sounds like fun, bro.
Nah, that shit can get, yeah.
Get the fuck out of here, Gizzo. That's not, that just sounds like torture.
Right. But
I mean, like, I'm going to sleep.
A lot of times when we have these discussions, to get your point across or to make it make sense a lot of times, or even maybe you're making it make sense for you. I don't know, but I'm just pure speculation on my point. But that you use your music and your creativeness as an analogy to make some points get across.
Sometimes,
or sometimes you yourself say, as the microphone misfits. I'm just fucking with you.
No, I used to, and then, but when that shit became such a commodity in my life, I stopped doing that.
Right.
And it, because I didn't want my emotional outlets to be tied into a commodity of like the commodification of the $5 word, the commodification of my self-expression.
Ding, ding, ding.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, because that'll man, that shit'll do a number on you, man. Like, and it's a blessing, and then you can't complain about it because you look and sound like an asshole because you're an indie artist. So you're like, you ought to be happy that it's a commodity to people, and I am. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, dang, I can't complain about that. So more so it's always just my perspectives and not just mine, but me and the group's perspectives and like our ideas and certain things and and just the outlet for fun and enjoyment you know, and celebratory because like, man, but it used to get hella deep and hella real, but then it's you know, once you commodify it, man, you know, it's like you're asking the public and the consumers to justify it for you.
Right.
And that shit will wear on you. Like, man, like we did a song honoring the dead. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's called Libations. We put it out as a single and everything. Had a video and all of that stuff. And it got its traction eventually because everybody was like, the video really helped because people were like, oh man, this is about the fallen dead, and this is, oh, you rapping about your grandfather, holy shit, you know, da 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 da. But when it came out, man, nobody give a fuck about that song because it wasn't the high energy microphone misfits b-boy type of shit. People was like, oh no, it was kind of turn up, and nobody want to, you know, brand wise, don't nobody want to hear the microphone misfits rap about shit like that. You know what I'm saying? And then, you know, it was also harder because like, you know, Ray doesn't usually rap lead, you know what I'm saying? So this was a song where Ray rapped lead, you know what I'm saying? And so then we had the stigma on that. Like it was a slow burn for us. I mean, eventually people came back like, yo, man, that song was so deep. But, you know, and we still do. We still get personal until our perspectives. But I don't really use the music as a venting thing, especially if I'm going to commodify it and it's going to be on an album or a single or something, because that shit'll fuck you up.
That you're using it for venting. I was saying like sometimes you use it as a metaphor to whatever is being said in the conversation.
No, but I also do use it for venting sometimes too. I understand the whole commodity thing and like making the music for the purpose of the microphone misfits to distribute. But yeah, also like I mean, there's songs that I'll still write some shit to. I write a verse out. I got about 4 things in my phone right now that I've wrote the hooks out of personal things going on in my life, and like, you know, I still use it as an outlet. But yeah, when you're talking about that, you know, unless you package it the right way, like I got a song in Spanish that's talking about love and heartbreak, and like the way like we did it and shot the video, it's you know what I mean, it's good for that, you know, but it's you package it too.
Right. Well,
only thing I recently did, we recently did with that was the song Addiction. That was the featuring Harley Hustle. That was the only thing that was more like that. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't even, but even then, I wasn't even going, and I kind of referenced what my addiction was once at the very end, but like I was more talking about the process of getting over an addiction. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I don't really, you know, because for me, like, and God bless, you know, God bless the, you know, like you Gizzo and everybody that does that. And I've done that, but, you know, like that's kind of the price of like, man, I don't like putting those type of things for sale.
Right.
You know, I have a problem, you know, with that. You know what I'm saying?
But do you have your own side of D-Nick music going that's not like microphone misfits related? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, do you have that like those projects going on for yourself, like where you are writing things like that, or is it just because you're writing only for microphone misfits that you're just focusing on that?
I'm not a solo artist, so yeah, I'm only focusing on the fizz. If I'm doing something like that, that's staying in my rhyme book and it's not being put out. And then, you know, it might get remixed or I might rewrite it to make it more palatable. That's something I'm comfortable selling. But, you know, if it's for me, it's for me. Once it's out to the universe, it ain't for me no more. It's for the consumers to buy. You know what I'm saying? And I can't like separate that. That's what it is. So, you know, like, nah, you know, and I don't have, I'm not an active solo artist anymore. You know, I've only got 2 solo records.
Something real quick, if I may.
Shadow.
This boy, he wild right now.
No, Shadow. Our secret R&B group is called Intercourse and the 4 Strokes. And even that is a group. That is the group. That's
Who's
the microphone.
lead vocals of that one?
Huh?
Who's lead vocals of that one?
Who got there first?
Whoever got there first.
Hey, listen, I want to say something before I lose my train of thought.
Serious moment.
Yeah, serious moment. Because I think it's important that we touch back on this, right? Because I had a moment right there in the show, and I want it to be known that because even as it was happening, I felt this need to suppress it, and I want it to be known that kind of shit is okay, and it's very okay, because we need that as men. We need to be able to I need to be able to be comfortable and say, look, man, I'm passionate. I'm so passionate about it and passionate about my journey and my shit that it does affect me emotionally.
Well, what kind of asshole would you be too to be like, man, shut the fuck up to someone that's doing that? You know what I mean? Like,
it's not that.
We need to accept that. That's why that is a good moment. What you're saying,
but I want that to be known that like it's okay. You know what I mean? And I'm okay. Like I'm still about to tear up, but because I really do feel this shit, and I really have a deep passion for this show. Because it's helping me every day in my fucking journey and my shit. I have a deep awareness and passion to fucking fix me, you know? And I want people to know that shit's okay. It's okay to be in that moment. It's okay to feel, you know, because my tears aren't, they weren't, I mean, I'm proud of myself.
Yeah.
And so a lot of that is like, look, man, I'm sitting over here, I'm crying because, man, look, man, this takes a lot.
It does.
This shit takes a lot. And it's taxing, it's tiring, it's all of those things. But at the same fucking time, it's rewarding as fuck. The self-reward. The other shit will come, in my mind. So I just wanted to package that and say, look, whatever a person may see this and may think, this shit it's okay. It's old fucking K. Yeah, shout out to Shadow Master, man. He said, we need to be able to show our emotions without judgment from another. Yes, sir. I guess that's what I'm trying
That's
to
what
say.
the check-in is for, man.
Yeah.
That's what's so dope about it. And we've all had our moments and had our clarity like on the show and discussing different things. And, you know, sometimes they are and sometimes they're not. But sometimes the topics are things that we talk about within our circles and shit that like, man, you know what? We got to talk about this shit on the show. Things that are affecting us. So.
And what's also dope about the show is it lets you know the risk.
Right.
Because we should have spaces to reflect and reveal like feelings and emotions without judgment. And the unfortunate part of it that when you put something on a public platform for everybody to see, people gonna have judgments as they're entitled to because you know it's published on the entertainment platform, on the social media platform. And but the cool thing is that it also, while it is a space for that, and it's also open for people to be assholes and judge too, even though you know the community don't do that. But you know occasionally y'all gonna get a fucker in the comments that's gonna judge and be an asshole about it, and you know and like, no, this is stupid shit, or this is this, that, and the third, or no, all this. The cool part is it teaches us how to handle that shit too. You know what I'm saying? Like how to not let that shit derail the process, because you know that's the unfortunate part of it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it's also a fortunate part of it because like, okay, this is practice. It's all reciprocal. I'm really not for like, you know, like don't nobody want to be a fucking refrigerator, man, that no one goes grocery shopping for. You know, like Like for real, like you just open the door up and take until the fridge is empty, and now you just paying the electric bill for nothing for a high ass empty refrigerator. That's fucking sucks. You know what I'm saying? So it has to be reciprocal. You know what I'm saying? And like, reciprocity is important, yo. Like
Ding, ding,
that's
ding,
something.
ding, 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 ding. Reciprocity.
Yeah, man, that's something I find really important. Like when I'm counseling, like I'm not like, I'm not finna what they call it. It's a term for it. They call it energy transference. And
Right.
they warn us about that, energy transference where we just pour into these kids and that shit drains us. You know what I'm saying? And fucks us up, and then, like last year, we had like two counselors off themselves. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, because it gets draining.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But it's a practice. All of that shit is work. It's even work for me, as like, okay, I'm in charge of doing these processes and all of that stuff. But I gotta remember not to take that shit home and let that shit eat me up and all of that type of stuff while still being compassionate, without getting drained, da 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 da. And you're gonna have some wild little motherfuckers that be like, man, fuck this shit, fuck this counseling session and all this. And I still gotta get at little motherfuckers some grace. And you know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's a whole thing, you know what I'm saying, which is similar to this public platform. It's like, man, some of them like, man, fuck these soft ass motherfuckers on here. Da, 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 this motherfucking Ross dude that know it all, and and kids don't think he too cool for the room, and then he always telling us this shit about his, they're gonna beat you up. They'll beat us up, and we got to learn how to take that and be like, and support each other in that, and be like, all right, you got that off. Fuck you. Get over there.
It's why I believe in the universe, bro, because that's a conversation that I had this afternoon as well. I mean, after the morning conversation, then lent itself. The morning conversation, no, for real. The morning conversation lent itself to the afternoon being absolutely fabulous, right? With that, we sat and had a conversation about the platforms and shit. And she said, you realize that all of this stuff is out there, and are you ready? And I said, I'm 100% ready. Like, I understand what this is, and I understand there are going to be naysayers, detractors, and all of that shit. By the way, that was a $2 word, detractor. But
defractor.
How's reciprocity 5 and that's $2?
All right. Touche. Dollar word, touche.
He said that's why I smoke every morning.
But that shit lent itself, and then the conversation was about, okay, handling all of these things and how is this going to happen? Are you prepared for people Googling and doing shit and finding things out about you and whatever, man? I answered that with this. I'm cool with me, so I don't give a fuck what anybody says. And I'm not going to let anybody deter me from what I feel like is what I'm supposed to be doing. That's that. I don't give a fuck. Google me, say whatever you want, say however, fuck whatever, dude. Get in the fucking comments, say whatever you want. I don't care about that part of it. And I'm prepared for all of that part of it. I'm prepared. I don't care.
I'm gonna check my email after this.
Do whatever you got to do. Oh, I see what you're saying. I know what you're saying. That's funny.
No, gentlemen, I gotta get ready to shake.
Yeah, and we're getting ready to end this right now. Thank you once again, man, for
peace, D.
Yeah,
blessings.
Peace, man. Shout out to everybody that has been in the comments tonight. We appreciate your what's the word I'm looking for? Acceptance. And we appreciate your engagement,
reciprocity,
and your engagement in the show.
$2 word.
Shout out to Shadow Master, man. Thank you for tapping in, man. Your words are appreciated as well. Although you sometimes cracking jokes when there shouldn't have been joking.
He said there's nothing you can find online that I didn't already put in a rhyme.
Bet. They might be able to find me online getting kicked
Art
off.
of the Lion, motherfucker.
They might be able to find something online about me getting kicked off the stage at fucking Sub T's for rapping drunk as fuck.
Yeah, Shadow probably kicked you off. Hey,
no, he did for sure. 100%.
Hey, go online and search Art of the Lion by Shadow Master, man. What's up? Show some love.
Yeah. But anyways, yeah. Thank you for everybody. Thank you, man, for being here. I know,
thank you,
bro. You got a lot of things going on in your life. Thank you for taking the time out and being here, being a part of the show, being a part of my growth and my walk, and being my friend. For real.
No doubt, man.
Tear up again. God damn it.
I'm yawning. That's why I'm crying.
But shout out to everybody, man. This shit has been amazing, and I appreciate everybody for tapping in, man. We'll be back next motherfucking Sunday doing the same goddamn thing, same bad time.
With another topic.
With another topic, man. Any last words?
No, man. Much love to everybody. I love the dialogue. I love the back and forth with all the different. I think we started off with the baby mama topic and we went into.
But it's all full circle, though.
It's all full circle because if you can be that accountable person and you can be that better person, then you can have those better relationships with your baby mama, right?
Or queen.
Or your queen, the way you like
or
to.
Or your mother of your father.
Yeah,
the mother of your father. I mean,
the mother of your kids, your children.
However you want to see it.
So yeah, man, I think it all went full circle, and I'm just here, man. I'm here every week. I'm also.
You're not just here, man. You're a participant.
No, man, but I come here because it also has the same effects for me, bro. I've grown with the show, man, and all the topics we've ever discussed are all things that still float in my head, rent free, you know.
Yeah.
So much love to y'all, man. Jizzle for Shizzle on Instagram. Jizzle Villanueva on Facebook, Shy City Cypher everywhere. You already know.
Yeah. And again, shout out everybody that was in the comments. Shout out everybody for taking the time of their evening to sit down and listen to us talk our nonsense. It's not really nonsense. I don't mean that, but yeah, whatever. Thank you very much.
Some of Shadow's comments were nonsense.
Yeah.
Fucking with you, dog.
But yeah, thank you for tapping in. Like, subscribe and share
and comment notification bell,
all of that to YouTube at Unwrap. We have multiple shows. We have the Shy City Cypher, which is done Sunday before
7 p.m.
7 p.m. We have Whoop-de Whoop Sports like you're supposed to get it, dummy, which is every Saturday at 9:30.
9 o'clock.
Yeah, 9 o'clock. We're starting to get that time right.
Okay.
We also have Unwrap, which is every Friday.
That's my favorite
at 8:30.
Well, next to check-in, but whatever.
Yeah. Where we talk to and interview rappers from every level, from the beginning stages all the way up to professionals that do this shit for a living. And we talk about their journey and shit. And we have good conversation. We have good laughs. But yeah, hit that like, subscribe, comment, hit that notification, because as much as we need you, or you need us, we need you, or whatever, however in the fuck I was gonna say that. You get what I'm saying?
That's a $2 saying.
Yeah, it's a $2 saying. It's not up there with the $5 shit. But yeah, hit that like and subscribe, man. We're gonna be out of here. Thank you again for tapping in with us, man. We mean what we say, and we are doing as we say. I promise you. All right? Peace, love, and respect, man. Love yourself, goddammit. For real. Love your fucking self.
Let's go.
Let's go. We out.